Hey there, superstars. It is Vanessa here again, your speaker, trainer, and coach from Live, Love, Give. And I'm coming to you with a bit of a relationship one. Back on the topic of relationships. As you guys know, freaking love this topic. But today's one has come because I have just been talking to so many people, from coaching clients to amazing new people that I've got in my life, to people that, new and old, all around me on this topic of relationship. And in particular, it's kind of this topic of incompatibility. This point in relationship where we can get to this story of incompatibility, where maybe these two people might have been, when you first met somebody and you feel like, whoa, like this person is just so compatible with me and who I am. And, we go through infatuation and all that great fun stuff. And eventually people get to a point where they're just like, I don't even think I'm compatible with this person. Like there's just, we just don't meet each other's needs. We don't have the same interests. There's all these things that go ahead and attach themselves to this story of incompatibility that I want to talk to you guys about. Because at the end of the day, and why today's topic is the way that it is, I want to talk into the fact that some couples are incompatible, right? But no couple is compatible if they're not meeting each other's needs. And I think it comes down to this piece because in the beginning, we just think this person is so fantastic that we just want to do everything that we can to meet their needs and exceed their needs, right? Because we're like, oh my God, this is the person of my dreams. I want to be the person of their dreams, and we get into this whole, just putting a lot of our lives on hold a lot of the times, and we're trying to exceed that other person's needs. And then over time, we get complacent and we start kind of taking each other for granted. And then we kind of get into this position of tallying up who was doing what for who, and I did that. I do more for them than they do for me, and different experiences come into play, and we don't deal with things correctly, and maybe we don't express or communicate to one another because it feels too vulnerable and scary, and we're not self-aware enough to know what's missing, and we just blame the other person for how we feel in life. And the story, like we've all kind of experienced that. Anybody who's been through any sort of relationship has experienced parts of what I'm talking into. So drop me a comment and let me know you're resonating with what I'm saying. But what we need to do, because I see so many couples who have the potential of creating something absolutely outstanding and extraordinary with one another, end up in this story of incompatibility, and they just think they're out of control with it. They don't believe that they're standing at choice point, which you're always standing at choice point, right? Believe me, you've always got choice here. But what happens is they lack self-awareness. They're blaming the other person. They think the other person needs to change. They're not happy with their lives, and and they place the burden on the relationship. They don't have that clarity over what their needs really are, and they're starting to resent this other person because they're closest to them, they're right in front of them, and they're just like, oh, my life would be so much easier if I didn't have this other imperfect human being putting their challenges and problems on me when I've already got, a whole pile of them, right? So we get into this complacency in our relationship, and we kind of start checking out. We kind of start putting that other foot outside the door and thinking, wow, life could be so much better without this person. And we let our fears and insecurities, be that kind of wedge between us and that other person. We put those walls up, and we feel totally unfulfilled, and we feel completely at a loss as to why. The problem is we've stopped meeting each other's needs. Okay. And the big piece is, like I said in the beginning, when we meet somebody at first, when we're infatuated with them and we just think they're extraordinary, we're going over and above to exceed this person's needs so that they can find us to be that love of their life or whatever we're perceiving of them. And we go on that journey until we get to that place of complacency and start taking each other for granted, blah, 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 blah. Lots of things come into play. But we stopped meeting each other's needs, and we stopped thinking about this other person and appreciating and being grateful for them and seeing them, seeing the greatness in them. And we turned that attention back to ourselves, and we started just thinking about what's missing rather than what we stand to gain. And this is a major, major problem in our relationship dynamics, because then what happens is we become under-responsible for the way that we're living our lives. We stop taking responsibility for our own fulfillment. We place it in the hands of another human being who's doing the same thing as we are. And then nobody's needs are getting met. And each person is expecting the other person to be different and to be doing everything. And this is where we get really, really stuck, and we end up checking completely out of relationships, oftentimes just leaving them. And then the problem of that is, and you've probably heard this before, but you just take you to the next relationship, right? You're the common denominator in that pattern in your relationship. And whether you work it out now in this relationship, or you refuse to grow and you blame the other person and you don't get beyond yourself and you just leave that one and you close that door and you open a new one, and then you get into infatuation, you think, yes, see, I was meant to meet this other person, and then till time goes on and you find that you're running the exact same pattern that you were with the first one, right? I've been through multiple long-term relationships at this stage, and I've definitely got to a point where I'm like, oh, finally I have to learn that that's me, and that's my challenges, and I'm taking me to the next relationship dynamic, and to not allow that pattern of behavior continuously lead me to the same result. And this is a big one. Like I said, today's message is that yes, sometimes some couples are incompatible, right? Sometimes you've got way different lifestyle goals and visions, way different values that you don't feel called to integrate, right? There's plenty of different things going on there, different life stages, maybe if, one person has had their children and, they just don't want to have any more kids, and they end up being in a relationship with somebody who may really want children, has never been experienced of that. And, that maybe they potentially are incompatible in that realm. There's plenty of ways that we can be incompatible. I like to actually believe that any couple can become compatible with the right understandings of the framework of who you are and that other person, but that's a whole nother journey. But at the end of the day, no couple is compatible if you're not meeting each other's needs. So what does that mean? What does that look like? What it doesn't look like is you sacrificing your own needs to meet another's. This is another challenge I see over and over again, because that people will hear this message and they'll be like, yeah, but I'm meeting their needs all the time. All I do is meet their every need, and I'm not satisfied in this relationship. Yeah, because you're not meant to sacrifice one person's needs for the others, right? So you've got to understand and know what your needs are as an individual. You've got to be able to have the courage to openly communicate about what your needs are, so that that other person isn't expected to be a mind reader, and they've actually got the map and the solution to the problem of connecting with you on the deepest level and making sure that you're fulfilled. And you've also, got to have a mindset of it's not just about you and it's not just about them, but together you're co-creating a third entity. That is the relationship. So when you enter a relationship and you have the perception and the mindset that you want to create something extraordinary, you have to stop the me and the you kind of language and way of seeing the world, and you have to go about, what are we co-creating here? What is the vision for the relationship? And then from that place, you need to make your decisions based on what's best for the relationship. And what's always going to be best for the relationship is two individuals, knowing and having enough self-awareness around what they need and communicating about that openly, and being able to get above and beyond just themselves to actually meet and desire to meet and exceed the other person's needs, right? So it's not about you sacrificing anything. It's not about them, giving you something. It's about what are we co-creating here and what's best for the relationship that we're creating. And, you've got to have two happy, fulfilled individuals. And sometimes, the biggest piece of that is that you as an individual and them as an individual have to go about your own unique growth journey, right? Whatever that looks like. And in the kind of relationship dynamic that's, 80% of relationships out there where it's like, it's all self-focused about what they're getting from the relationship. They don't want their partner to pull away from them when they need to, or go on this growth journey that could be threatening to them changing or whatever. They're so self-focused about what they're trying to get from the relationship that they never create an extraordinary quality of relationship. There's always something missing. It's lacking fulfillment and it feels very shallow and empty, right? But the kind of people who develop the mindset of whatever's best for the relationship moving forward, and sometimes I'm not necessarily going to like that. Sometimes it's going to bring up my fears when my partner has to go on their unique growth journey, when they have to shift or change. And, but because I have a common shared vision with this other human being, and we're on the same page with what we're looking to create, and we can see how our fulfillment is going to be born through the vehicle of our relationship, I'm willing to deal with my fears, right? And you've got to have that kind of growth mindset. But if you can't get beyond yourself and just worrying about what you're not getting, then you're never going to create the fulfillment that you really desire and yearn for at the deepest level in your intimate relationships, and any relationship, by the way. But that's a really big piece. And as our friend Tony Robbins would say, your relationship is a place that you go to give, not to get. All right. And that's in simplistic terms, but it's just absolutely hits at the heart matter of that. And what I've done is I've put a link to a free guide that I created a little while ago for you guys. I know a lot of you have already downloaded it, but it's just up above. It's the relationship breakdown cycle and how to reverse it, right? So you can see the framework and the system of relationship and the things that, get in the way and how that comes about and how to mitigate those, normal transitions in relationship when we're unaware, right? So I hope that you download that. I hope that you get a ton of value from it. And also for those of you who want to go really deep in the realm of relationship, if you want to master relationship with yourself and with others, then I really do invite you to join us in the Limitless Potential monthly masterclasses. Drop me a comment. I'll shoot you over the link. But you can go through the very first masterclass was on the 6 human needs and how to uncover your unique hierarchy in those needs, how to uncover that in your partner, how to meet each other's needs, how to, ultimately get the system to how to get your needs met and get clarity over even what the hell they are and be able to communicate about that. There's also masterclasses in there around the relationship drama triangle. That is incredible for self-awareness and breaking through of the same old patterns that are draining your energy and making relationships that could be extraordinary actually, stop and die well before their time, right? So you're in the driver's seat. As I said earlier, you're always at choice point, but you've got to educate yourself. You've got to have self-awareness and you've got to have the courage and the confidence to move towards something that you actually really want, right? And stop selling yourself short. And I get so passionate about this realm in relationship, because I really do believe that relationship, and particularly your intimate relationship, is your greatest vehicle for fulfillment in life, right? So hope this message has definitely served you and got you thinking about what's going on in your relationships. And I hope that you will download that free guide that I created for you guys and get a ton of value from it. And definitely want to check in with you guys. So make sure you're dropping me a comment, say hi, let me know where in the world you're tuning in from, and if you've got any words of wisdom on this topic. I absolutely love hearing from you guys. But I've got Lucy, yay, and Judy. Oh, sorry, I did a little twisteroo on the video camera there. Lucy and Judy and Alonia and Andrew and Loki and Jody and Caden and Morris and Adrian. Awesome to see all of you guys. And Caden, two selfish people in a relationship will forever be divided, but two people growing together are destined to become one. So beautifully put, and there's a reason why I call you the wordsmith. Awesome, Caden, absolutely. And I love that you caught me live. So good to see you, my friend, and I could not agree more. So wonderfully put. So guys, this really is my message for you guys. I've got another masterclass coming up for you guys this coming week on Monday, right before I get on a cruise on a big ship. For the first time ever, I've never been on a cruise, and I'd go for 10 days around New Caledonia and Vanuatu, and hopefully it's a bit warmer than here in Melbourne, and I get a bit of beach and sun action, so that'll be nice. But can't wait to come to you. Actually, I don't know what the internet connection is going to be like there, but I'll be coming to you over as many times as I possibly can over these next few days. And Caden, this sounds like an inspired message. Thank you for sharing. I'm really grateful that you're finding value in today's message, Caden. Thank you for letting me know that. And yep, always coming from some sort of place of authentic inspiration. So I'm glad that that's come through, and I cannot wait. Oh, and Caden, always a pleasure catching you live, sending lots of love your way, always sending tons and tons and tons of love your way, my friend. And thank you so much to each and every one of you guys for joining me live. I so appreciate it. And for you guys who catch the recording, I hope this is of value to you as well. Drop me some comments, let me know your thoughts, and if this message is of value, please do share it. That is such a gift that you guys can give to me. I so appreciate when I see that. And Jerry's here. Great to see you, my friend. For you guys who are just joining me, I really hope that you catch the recording and get a ton of value from today's message, because I'm just about to sign off. And as always, I'm sending you guys all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you to wherever you are in the world today. I really do hope that it's beautiful, amazing, and extraordinary, and that today's message has definitely served you, and that you're doing something super inspiring and empowering. I've got a fun night planned, which I'll have to go head off for very shortly. I'm going to take a friend through a personality profiling session and introduce them to the framework that is kind of like giving that person, hey, here's how to be the absolute best version of you. So super excited to go and introduce that framework to them. And again, if that's of interest to you, that's in the masterclasses, so check it out. All right, so I'm signing off. I'm sending you guys all of my love, and I cannot wait to see you tomorrow.